Muscle and tendon mobility is super important because muscles cross joints, and when they are shortened, they change how joints move, and that can lead to problems. My favorite way of fixing mobility problems in muscles is to do something I call stacking, where I'm going to take a number of different ways of improving mobility and combine them into one program, because for me, over many years as a physical therapist, I've gotten the best results doing it that way, and that's what I want to show you how to do. So today I'm going to share my super program for improving iliopsoas mobility, and these steps can also be applied to other joints. So the first step is to recognize that mobility is not some passive thing like turning on a light switch or off a light switch. You can't just eliminate tension in your muscle and expect it to stay that way, because we use our muscles consciously and unconsciously. So the first stage is acknowledging that you are probably doing things in your life that are contributing to hip flexor tightness. So as we progress through the program, first recognize that some things are things that we'll do, like stretches and movements, and other things are things that we will change, like sitting less, and we've got to start there. Otherwise, our program isn't going to have lasting effects. Step 2, have a few great passive or active stretches. The most effective stretch for the hip flexor is some version of a lunge. There are many ways to do this. Experiment with a few. Number 3, have a few great agonist exercises. Tightness can mask weakness. I have seen it over and over again, and one of the best ways to unlock a stiff joint is to train the muscle that is particularly stiff and really limiting the motion in that joint. So good agonist exercises are super helpful. There's a few reasons this works. One, it warms that muscle up. Another reason is fatigue. When you train a muscle like that that's really chronically stuck and tight, you're going to tire it out some, and that's also going to make it easier when we go to lengthen it. For the hip flexor, one of the most effective ways to do that is with a straight leg raise. Number 4, work the antagonist. In this case, this is the glute group, in particular gluteus maximus. There are so many great ways to train this muscle. Laying on your front, just lifting your leg is a super easy way to start. Bridges are an advanced move, but one of my favorites. For our advanced movers, your lower abdomen is also part of the larger picture of what's going on with your hip flexor, and doing lower abdomen core exercises is another great way to support getting more flexibility in your hip flexor. Number 5, we need to retrain this muscle, and retraining it means we're going to use it under load through its full range of motion, or as much of that range of motion as we can. The tippy bird is the classic example of this. Add some rotations or side twists to that to make it more dynamic and more complex as you get better. Number 6, learn to use your hip flexor differently. So for this step, I encourage you to work on feeling where your pelvis is in space. It will be very difficult to make long-term changes in your hip flexor without having a better feeling and understanding of how your pelvis moves. Anytime you're sitting, anytime you're standing, start by doing some forward and backward, side to side, and rotational small movements, and that's going to help you get a better perceptual feeling of what that hip flexor is doing posturally. Now that you've lengthened your hip flexors, you're going to want some moves that are going to help you maintain that flexibility and control. I recommend this video right here for my favorite single leg stability moves. Thanks so much for watching as always, and I hope to see you next time.